How's everybody doing tonight? So I'm gonna do something a little different today. Usually I'm just like I'm doing an unboxing or maybe a review on a knife, and today I'm gonna share my entire knife collection. Now I know it's not ginormous by any means, but I do have some knives that stood out to me in one way or another, and the want to get these particular knives was there for one reason or another. So today I'm just going to go through, my entire collection and, what I like about a few of these knives, what I would change about a few of these knives, and just kind of talk about each one. So, this is the oldest knife in my collection. In a buck 112, and I got this when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. So lock back, obviously two-handed, everything old school. It does lock up pretty solid. It has a little bit of movement, but the knife's been used a lot, and it's 30 something years old. So yeah, this is an old school guy with the bronze and the wood, and God only knows what steel's on there. I have no idea. But yeah, that's my oldest pocket knife. Not my first one, because I actually lost the first really nice knife my dad gave me, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the buck, the old school buck. And then I got I've had this forever. My dad gave me this when I was probably not much older than when I got that. Swiss Army knife. So probably use the wine opener more than anything on this particular knife, and it's got a little saw on it and stuff, but also kind of a classic. Yeah, so let's see, the next one I want to talk about. I do have a lot of Sharp by Design knives. So far it's probably my favorite maker slash manufacturer. Maker is Brian Nadeau, manufacturer is Riot, and I just really like these knives. They are pricey, but they also offer some uniqueness and probably one of the best detents in the game. So yeah, this is the Apex. This is the one that I've done videos on it. I've talked about it quite a bit. I did the Enlay swap video where I swapped the red and the blue on these two Apexes, these two drop points. And I think it came out really good. I like the gray and the red. This was my favorite knife for a very long time. And it's still up there. I go back and forth about this one. But that's a good one. So that's a Sharp by Design Apex. I actually have quite a few of those. This is a more recent acquisition, and this is the Kaiser Militaw. It's a Jonathan Styles design knife, and this one has been really impressive. Probably the easiest lock bar disengagement of any knife I've ever used. It has a big channel right here, and it's smooth, and it's actually very easy to pull over, unlike some knives, which that's kind of a personal preference thing. Some people would maybe like a little more tension. This one is very light tension, and the action is very smooth. It's really hard to believe this knife cost what it costs in relative to its quality, smoothness, and design. It's a really good deal. This was a White Mountain Knives exclusive, and it came in a couple different variants like I talked about in the video, but it's a winner all the way around. The only negative is the pocket clip is a little tough to get in and out. You got to kind of angle it in your pocket. That's the one thing I would change on this knife. Other than that, pretty awesome knife. That's the Kaiser Militaw. I better start going through these suckers, huh? This is the Wee Sakshi. It was one of my early pickups, and it's a good looking knife. It's a functionally great knife. It's smooth. I put skiff bearings in quite a few of these knives, this one included. And I changed the pocket clip because I like this aftermarket pocket clip quite a bit better. But this one has multiple deployment methods. It is, like I said, smooth. It's not as smooth as some of the more expensive knives. You know, this knife is under $200. And unfortunately, it's discontinued because I think it was a really good design. I would have liked to have seen something other than this kind of bead blasted finish on it. But, because the scales look they're really nice. So even like a polished stone wash at any rate, it is what it is. But it's a good knife nonetheless. Comfortable, contoured handles, perfect size for EDC. This is the WE Sakshi. Great pickup. This one I bought for more of a collector piece. And this is the WE Exciton. This is a really cool knife. It's my only button lock knife, and it's regarded as one of the best button locks that you can get. And I can see why. It's just, the action is, it just whips out there. And all forms of deployment are really good on this knife. So, and for a button lock to feel the way that this one feels is very impressive. It's also a very unique knife in my opinion. The design elements are really well done. This carbon backspacer that almost makes it almost feel like an integral. Nice pocket clip. Excellent dual ground blade with a hollow, flat, nice swedge. Some functional jimping. This is just a great knife. One of the most comfortable knives that it's very comfortable. The clip is excellent. There's no hot spots or pinch points. You got these little details, it's one of my favorites. This is one that I really would like to keep in my collection. Some knives move on, some knives stick around, and this is one that I plan on keeping. I plan on this one sticking around. It's something special. So this is the WE Exciton. If you can get a hold of one of these, I highly recommend it. There's quite a few for sale in the secondary market, and they keep coming out with new variants. This was one of my favorite variants of it, though, with the carbon fiber and the titanium and the blue. Really nice. I'm going to save this guy for a little bit later because that is something special as well. This is the WE Speedster. It was also one of my early acquisitions. One of the more affordable WE knives. I love this finish. This finish is like, if you look at it in the sun, it's like a blue anodized, I don't even know. It's like a crystals, frozen looking blue. It's got some nice milling and the edges are really knocked down. And this is a very comfortable knife as well. It's not contoured, but the edges are really chamfered and they got this nice milling on it. This knife is also very smooth. I put skiff bearings on this, and this has multiple forms of deployment as well. You can reverse flick it off the fuller. It's not a huge fuller and it's kind of smooth, but once you practice a little bit, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. You can do it. But the flipper tab is really nice on this knife. And it has the blade stops. There's channels that run in the frame, scales, and it's really nice. It's a solid lockup, really thin geometry on this particular blade, as well as a really fine edge. This is a good slicer. This is the WE Speedster. I did put an aftermarket clip on here, which turned out really nice, in my opinion. The stock clip is kind of billy and I don't know, it could catch on things. It wasn't really ideal for me. So this one works a lot better, and this knife is functionally a lot better. The one only negative I will say about this knife is it clears the detent late. It seems like a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as some of my other knives. But still, it's a good knife. And you can get these for under a couple $100, and for that you're getting titanium, 20 CV blade, really slicey, nice even bead blast on that blade, and just a good looking knife. It's a pretty clean knife, great design. It's one of the only knives I have that's more of a spear point. So I like that about it as well. That's the Wee Speedster. So I kind of talked about, let's see here. Okay, my most recent acquisition has been just another one of my favorites. And this is the Berg Blade Sweeney. This thing is special as well. It's a Riot build. This and all my Sharp Eye designs are Riot builds. And they are one of the premier manufacturers of pocket knives. And it shows. The quality on this is similar to Sharp Eye design, although Sharp Eye designs may just have a little bit of an edge. But this, as far as a design, this has the best top flipper I've ever used. I mean, it's just intuitive. And you can, even that, at first it was a little tough to do. Once I got used to it, I mean, it's effortless. So you've got all the deployment methods you could possibly want on this Berg Blade Sweeney. The thumb flick, they just all work. And the knife is solid. I got this one with Ultim scales, but they offer it in a few other variants. The only bad thing about the Sweeneys is they don't make very many of them. This is number 18 of 60. And they had 60 of each variant, and they sell out quick. So if you're wanting a Berg's Blade Sweeney, they can be a little tough to find. But I do highly recommend this knife. Excellent knife. Perfect size. Great front flipper. Great blade shape. It's the one I've been carrying the most lately. And I actually have a Zircotai clip on order for it. Can't wait for that to come in. I'll do a video where I throw that on here with some skiff bearings. That's the Berg Blade Sweeney. Great knife. So let's see, what do I got left? Okay, I kind of went over the Apexes, which was my favorite knife of 2023. And then I got these guys shortly after. This is the Mini Tempest. And in between those, I got this. Oh, man. And this knife. I'll tell you what. This Mini Evo by Sharp Eye Design has the best flipping action of any knife. I mean, hands down. The D10 is just perfect. Man. The reverse flick on this is not really a thing, but they got the flipper tab detent so perfectly dialed. I'm glad they didn't even worry about any other deployment methods. This is the Mini Evo, purple haze, fat carbon, hand rub satin blade with this nice hole. It's just a great looking knife, and it's super comfortable. Contoured handles, solid. Jimping extends to a reasonable range. Edge is nice and fine. Sharpening choil is excellent. This thing is just all around, one of the best knives ever made. And I'm not getting these knives for free. Nobody's sending me anything. These are knives that I've bought with my own money, and liked them really for some reason or another. And this one, it's one of my favorite purchases. And just a great knife. These Sharp Eye designs are all similar in some ways and different in some ways. So this one just cranks out there when you rack that flipper tab, and it's just got an amazing detent. This is the Mini Tempest, and it doesn't crank out there like that in the same way. It feels great, don't get me wrong. It's awesome flipping action. This is just next level. But this, you can, what am I doing? You can reverse flick it really easy. I don't know why I'm missing that. It's really not that hard. It reverse flicks really nice. This is the Mini Tempest in 80s fat carbon. That's just good looking stuff. I'm an 80s, grew up in the 80s. I was born in the 70s, but I'm giving away my age. But this stuff, it's cool looking, man. It speaks to me. Love it. Love this knife as well. Perfect size, 3.5-inch blade. Blade to handle ratio on these Sharp Eye designs is excellent. Centering's excellent. I put skiff bearings in this one as well. And I modified the pocket clip, knocked down all the edges. So it wasn't bad to begin with, but it's almost a must on these knives, these Apexes. Once you knock down the edges of all these clips, this is an awesome knife. The clip's a little pokey, to start with, but once you knock down all those edges, man, this knife, people need to really, stop sleeping on this Apex. They bitch about the clip and bitch about the clip, but it's a really easy fix, and you got this wonderful knife. And that's what this is. It's a wonderful knife. Super comfortable. Just the right size for me. I like around the 3.5-inch blade size. The Mini Tempest is the same length in the blade. It is a little bit thinner knife. Both of them are really nice to carry and, really nice to own. Pretty fortunate. This is the shipwreck version of the Mini Tempest, which I also really like. This one, I haven't been, I carry it from time to time, but this is kind of my daily carry. If I'm going to carry a Sharp by Design, this is the one I pick up the most, or the Apex. So I've kind of been keeping this one pretty nice. Haven't used it a whole lot, but it's one of the most beautiful knives in my collection. That shipwreck is just next level. This is, smooth, that Riot build. Great knife. Super smooth. I put skiffs in this one too, and I modified the clip on this one as well. So, I carry, 80% of these knives. There's only a couple I don't carry, and that's because I have other options, or I probably would carry them. So I don't know, and I may change my mind in the future. This is one of those that I really don't carry just because I bought this as kind of a collector's piece. And this is the WE Cybernetic. And this, hands down, is my favorite WE knife. Even though the deployment method isn't my favorite, the lines on this thing are amazing. The titanium is just beautiful. The little pop of blue, even the way the blade is, it's just something else. There's something about this thing. And the smoothness is next level. I mean, this is the smoothest knife. This one is really close. This guy is, that's just really nice. The closing on these two knives are amazing. These are the two best closing knives in my collection. And there's something about this WE Cybernetic. They offer this in a couple different variants. This one is an older one. When they first released, it's sold out, but you can get some of the newer variants, and they got a new gray one that looks really cool. It's tempting me, but I'm out of money for knives. What can I say? I think I've spent enough probably. But this is the WE Cybernetic. Beautiful knife. One of the favorites in my collection, and just a really unique piece that I think is one of the more well-designed WE knives and interesting WE knives that they've ever come out with, and classy. That's something about that Cybernetic. So I went through pretty much all of them except for a couple. This is the only OTF I have. And this is the Microtech Mini Hera. And it's got the dual, whoa. That's not good. Okay. It has actually failed on me before. That's not the first time, unfortunately. But it's probably like 1 in every 500 times I flip it, and it just so happened to happen right there. Anyway, this knife is really cool. I love it. They do have different colors now. When I got this one, it was just black. They've got like an anodized green, which I really like. And I think they got red. Mini Hera 2, I believe. And great little OTF. I don't have a lot of experience with OTFs, but I think I got a good one here. It's a smaller one, but it fires hard. And I like the fact you can put your thumb up here if you want to. And the grinds on the blade are perfect. The fullers are perfect. It's got 7 holes in the blade. 7's my favorite number, so, I kind of like that about it too. Mini Hera. great little knife. I don't know if it's got a glass breaker too, if that matters to you. And the pocket clip's reversible on this one. Actually, most of my knives are right hand only. I just realized that. But this one's reversible. Good little knife. So that's the Mini Hera. This is the crown jewel in my collection, and it's not my most expensive knife as far as what I've paid for it, but it is my most expensive knife, and it's my most beautiful knife in my opinion. And this is the Sharp Eye Design Apex with Damasteel and a Tanto. So I love the hollow grind, the flat, the swedge, the flicking hole, the blue ano. It's just a great knife, a great looking knife. It's perfectly executed. I have not done any modifying to this knife at all. It still has the little pokey bit on the clip, and it's still running on, the OEM bearings, which aren't bad, mind you. I do like Skiffs a little better. I think they offer a little more strength. The smoothness is actually pretty similar with both bearings, but the Skiff ones have more balls, so it gives you a little more support. But yeah, this is the crown jewel of my particular collection, and I'm happy to own it. I feel pretty fortunate. It's a beautiful Damasteel blade, and it looks really nice on both sides. Even from the top, it's really cool. And the grind on it is amazing. This knife, you can just tell that a lot of work and thought was put into this particular design. And it's really unique. And it's, to this day, one of my favorite knives in this collection. If I had to pick one knife in this entire collection, and that was the only knife I could keep, it would be an incredibly difficult decision. There's a couple that I would lean towards. I think this one would probably be, if I could only keep one, I would probably keep this Mini Tempest. And, there's a lot of good options there. So that's saying a lot, I think, in my opinion. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys tonight. I've never done a video like this where I kind of show my whole collection and, why I picked each knife and what I like about them. So I figured I'd try something a little different. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. I do videos, I try to get at least 1 or 2 out a week. Lately, it's been about 1 a week. So yeah, subscribe. Oh my gosh. I've got to throw this out there, man. I just saw this that I set over on the couch. PM3. How could I forget the PM3? One of the most well-renowned knives of all time. And then also honorable mention to the Benchmade North Fork, which is just an old school knife that I got early on in my knife collecting career that I still like and haven't been able to get rid of, just because it was one of my early ones. But man, I knew when I looked over there, I was like, oh, dang, I knew I forgot something. So there it is, my entire collection. What I like about each knife, and I'm starting to realize that I may have a little bit of problem here. But at any rate, thank you all for joining me. Like, subscribe. I'll be doing some more videos from time to time. I appreciate it. Have a good night.